Hello, my name is Shelley Hickey, and this is my project-based unit for self-sustaining ecosystem terrarium for third and fourth grades in science. Now, this will help to show them the balance of an ecosystem and what it is entailed into the making of the surety of its success. First, we need to find a proper container. We need to make sure that it is a closed container so that we can make sure that everything inside is working the way it needs to. Now, you could get a container like this, and you could possibly do as they have and put a ball on top of it, but you could also have a canister with a lid like this, and then you could choose several different kinds. There are options like this, which already have lights included with them, which light is very important for the success of your terrarium. And let's see, we will go over here. See, and it shows you how to start with it. Now, what you need to do and how much. It's a good diagram, but it doesn't explain. I'm going to explain it a little bit better. Now, here is the open or a closed terrarium. And you see the many different levels. You have sand, small rocks, a landscape fabric, which is a fiber such as maybe a window screen, and then charcoal, your moss, potting soil, and then your pebbles. And then you would add your plants. So you have decorative things you can also add to this if you wish. Now, you just need to make sure that your drainage material is all good. Now, in the open and closed, you can do soil, charcoal, and rocks. I would suggest you make sure and you get a really good enriched soil that will go with the type of terrarium that you plan on making. Now, here we go, is also another example of a vessel to use. Now, potting soils need to be, it depends on what you plan on doing. If you plan on doing sand or you plan on doing more of a wetland. So there's wetland, water plants, and it just is a matter of which you choose to do. So for my class, I would choose to do the wetland, which is the aquamarine. We would have the rocks. Now you can do the leca balls, but I would rather do just some pebbles in the bottom. Now, here is another version, and it shows you a little bit better depth of the drainage layer rocks, the carbon fiber, which is like a mesh, the charcoal, which has to be horticultural, so it needs to be able to be used in this system. Quality terrarium soil, which is what you need to buy. It's terrarium soil, and it's made with a specific stuff for the temperate and the nutrient cycle, and it helps renew the organic matter. Then you would add your plants and any sort of decorative things you might want to. Now let's see. Here shows you the many different steps of the water cycle in a terrarium. This is a closed terrarium. Now you would see that the water goes in after making a terrarium. You put water. Water absorbed by the soil, plants drink it, then the water evaporates and it condensates on the glass, and then droplets drip back down into the soil like rain, which helps your terrarium to keep being self-sustaining. Now, these are several ones that you can use. Now, this is an example of a desert, like a beach environment, and this is more of a wetland. Now, I would suggest a wetland, but a lot of people like doing the sand and beach type, like a desert would be also a good one. You could do one of each and then have a group of students monitor the one, and then the other group monitor the other, which I find to be a very good, that's a very good way to do it. It is our objective to create a selection of plants that will develop into healthy specimens while maintaining a balance among them. Now, you wouldn't want excessive growth. You don't want things that are going to be growing really fast. So you want to make sure to keep on top of any that are growing too rapidly and trim them down. And so then you make sure that the temperate and the tropical plants can thrive effectively in your terrarium. Now, you don't want to overcrowd anything. You want to make sure that the moss is in there, and it's beneficial for the biomass. You need that moss in there. And this will help with the nutrient cycle in the terrarium and help it to reproduce, and also that all of the species that you put in there interacting with your terrarium and your environment, they are also a critical component. Now, you never want to use potting soil in your terrarium. It is best to get the nutrition mix, which was have the microfauna and microbial life in it to be bioactive. Now you would need to incorporate some insects or crickets, mealworms, isopods, or snails into your habitat. Now there are these really good springtails that you can put into your terrarium. I'm sorry about that. You want to make sure that it's damp, and don't put a whole lot of them. You want to ratio out for the size of your container. So if your container is also about this size, you would want to put a good amount in there. And there's also a isopod, which they are considered a we would know them as roly-polies, say. You would call them roly-polies, and you could always introduce them into that. Make sure that you have the correct light, and that's an important factor in keeping the balance in your terrarium, that the lighting conditions will sustain your terrarium, because the plant life needs to receive natural light for the respiration and growth, that they won't be caused damage in your terrarium. Now, direct sunlight is not a good idea, so you must keep them in natural light, but not direct sunlight. So keep them in on a table, maybe near the window, or kitchen, maybe midpoint in your room, and make sure that it is on the north-facing windows, without exposing them to sunlight, direct sunlight. And this would be a great project, and I believe that children would enjoy this. Thank you very much, and I hope you like my video.